despite the rather uneasy relationship between Cuba and the United States of America for many years, I think Nigeria never for once looked back on the very romantic and strong relationship between Cuba and Nigeria, because we all saw Cuba as our kith and kin who were forcibly removed from us, and many of us grew up and adopted Fidel Castro as our hero, even when we did not know very much about what he stood for. And the last time I was at a diplomatic reception, I think I must have seen either your fourth secretary or somebody, and I said, well, the strongest friend that Cuba has in Nigeria is the governor of Osun State, Aribashola. I think he has not only visited Cuba, but he has, I think, the Galactic team, which he inherited, which he trained in Cuba. Well, I know that culturally we share so many things, with Cuba, and we hope that this will be the beginning of a mutually rewarding relationship, especially in the area of culture. I'm aware that Cuba and Nigeria have signed cultural agreements. I'm also aware that some of these agreements have expired and they need to be renewed. Despite the very grim economic situation, we still intend to honor our cultural obligations, and we hope that with the proposed revival of our cultural industries, Cuba will be able to assist us, especially in the areas of folklore, and be able to assist us on how you have succeeded so well in marketing your cultural goods. Because despite the long years of isolation, at least from the US, Cuba's cultural heritage was so strong that not even the US citizens could resist coming to Cuba on vacation. We need to learn a lot from you in the way you develop tourism. And I know that today tourism is one of the mainstay of the economy of Cuba. As we go along, we will definitely need your partnership, we will need your cooperation, and already I know that there is I think a kind of agreement between Cuba Radio and Television Corporation and the NT and FRCN, which paper I just considered a few days ago. So, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, it's our pleasure to welcome you and help you to rediscover your roots. We hope that your stay in Nigeria is going to be very, very enjoyable. We hope that you are going to bond more, and I'm so happy that you are starting very well with the summon by the Oni, because we call him the Oni of the source, because we believe that that is the cradle of civilization. We believe that creation actually started in Ilefe. So when you get to the Oni, please convey our highest respect to him. He has also declared the ancient city of Ife as a tourism zone, and I think he has picked the 20th of February, if I remember, yes, for the event. And as soon as I read it, I picked my phone and I called him and I said, Kabiyesi, you cannot do this without us, and he laughed. And only yesterday I received another letter from him in which he was seeking permission to re-roof the palace and the gate. And I think because the museums are within the palace gate, he needs the permission, or rather the consent of the Ministry of Culture, especially the Museum and Monuments Commission, to go ahead. So you can see we have very, very strong relationship with the Oni, and we hope that as time goes on, our paths will again cross, either with the Oni, the Alaafin, or whoever you choose. So once again, it's my pleasure to welcome you back home, and wish that, hope that it's going to be a lot of cultural exchanges and cultural renaissance between the two countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I address first?
Okay,
Yes, please.
As I said before, I didn't want this to be on try to get the minister, which is always very busy, and I appreciate very much that you have time to meet me, visit me here. So I would say that maybe there are not very many countries outside Nigeria where Nigerian traditions and culture is so well kept like in Cuba. In Cuba, 100% of the Cuban population got genes from Africa. It doesn't matter whether you socialists look at me as a white person. Maybe when you go to my genes, I have as much as you have of Africa. And that's very important. My president, or not the now president, the then president Fidel Castro, once said that we are very, very proud that African blood runs along Cuban veins. And that comes from the very formation of the Cuban nation. At the beginning of the 19th century, in a population of 2.2 million inhabitants, about 1.7 million were Africans, and most of them from Nigeria. Most of them from Nigeria. So when Cuba declared independence just as a purpose in 1868, the first action taken by the person we call the father of the nation was to free all the slaves. And immediately after, he invited all of them to join the revolutionary forces to fight the Spanish colonialism. Not a single of those free men and women decided not to go. They all went to fight. And Cuba is what it is because of the strong and enormous participation and sacrifice made by the African people. That's why my country considers any collaboration with the African people as a sort of humble payment to the historical debt we have with you. What we are in Cuba is because of you. And I also remember that when Cuban troops fought apartheid in Angola in 1975, The operation was called Operation Carlota. Carlota was a Yoruba Lukumi woman, slaves, who led a rebellion against Spain in 1812. She was dismembered, she was defeated, but her name was given, and she is one of our heroes in Cuba. Her name was given to the operation by which Cuba, together with our friends of Angola and Namibia, wiped out apartheid from that part of the world. So after that, we sent another army to Africa, an army with white shirts, doctors and nurses, who came and are still here in Africa. We have more than 6,000 Cuban doctors working in Africa, not alone those who went to fight the Ebola disease surge about 1 year ago. So it means that our roots are so strong, our links, and in the case of Nigeria, we are so grateful to Nigerians because all these years, Nigerians never let Cuba down. They were always together with Cuba in all the events. So we are thankful. I would like you to please transmit to President Muhammadu Buhari and to the government the appreciation of Cuba for the role played by Nigeria during all these years with Cuba. That's why we are prepared to collaborate with Nigeria not only in the cultural field, which is one of the most important, because that is where our roots lay, but also in other fields in which Cuba was able, during all these years of isolation, to achieve some things which could be for the benefit of our people. And we will never come to Nigeria to teach their brother minister. We cannot come back to the home of our forefathers to tell them how to do things and when. We do respect very much the intelligence and our forefathers. We will come here to share what we have been able to achieve. And we know that we are going to learn a lot from Nigeria. Actually, my neighbor in Cuba is a Babalao. Yes, he's a Babalao. He requested me a land from Adwa, everything which I am bringing back to him when I go to Cuba. Because we have a Yoruba association in Cuba, we have Abaqua association in Cuba, which are from the Igbos in Cuba. Very strong links. And that's why we think that we can also benefit from the strengthening of our relationship by Cubans coming to meet, to come to their roots, and from Nigeria to go to Cuba and see how your diaspora is doing there. In a country where we have achieved an expectancy of life of 80 years of age, an infant mortality of less than 5 per 1,000, is among the best in the world. And that expertise is available, is at the disposal of our brothers and sisters of Nigeria. So I hope that you would have time to go this year to Cuba. Maybe we know that you also care about tourist affairs. We have the most important fair in the Caribbean is the Fair of Tourism in Cuba, which happens in May. But we also have some other items in Cuba, which is the Feast of Fire, which is devoted to our African ancestors in the Caribbean countries. So I brought some information with me about that. I would very much like that if a Nigerian group could go and perform there and meet their brothers and sisters in Cuba. We would be very much welcoming your people there. Thank you very much, Minister.